Welcome to Billy Ho Sports. Thank you for tuning in. Please remember to subscribe to the channel and don't forget to like and comment on the videos. I hope you enjoy the show. Now, let's go. Hello, Billy Ho here. Coming at you week 2 DraftKings. I'm going to do some game stacks today and reflecting on week 1, just real quick. I basically didn't play nearly enough guys like Justin Jefferson and Saquon Barkley. So I got some of the money back I invested, but overall it was a slight loss. So full disclosure, but we're back week 2. Hopefully we've learned what we needed to learn week 1 and not overreact to what happened week 1. And I'm going to try to help you do that. So game stacks this week, 12 game slate, I do believe. So let's take a look at some scores. All righty. We are in the DraftKings lobby. Before I get started, don't forget, I'm going to post a link in the link in the description of my NFL weekly Billy Hose contest. It filled really quick, I guess, because it was out so early. Week 1, I only had 30 because I don't know why, but it filled too fast. I bumped it up to 50. I don't know if it'll fill or not, but it runs anyway. So if you've been under a rock the last 6 months or whatever, DraftKings changed their contest entries to where they will resize all the way up to 200 people. So it's not no longer it has to fill to run. It's no longer that. So here we go. Game stacks. First thing I always do is I look at the implied totals, team totals for the week. And after looking at the initial game totals, the very first stack everybody's going to go to, flock like seagulls, are going to go to this Arizona Las Vegas game. It's an implied total of over 50. I think it might be the only game over 50 this week. So if you wanted to game stack this, it can go either way. If you can save the money and go Derek Carr, and obviously Carr, and then you got to go right to Devontae Adams, but that's pretty much going to hamstring you away from any of these other guys. So you better be sure Adams outperforms Cup or Chase. So that it is what it is. I do believe we're going to take a quick look at Darren Waller. So he did get some targets. He started off rather slow in the game, but he did seem to work his way. So 4 for 79 in that game that didn't quite shoot out like we thought it would. Not too bad. So he's 5,600. That's only a $200 bump. So that can be your run back guy if you want, or I mean your double stack guy if you want. And then you can always go back to one of these guys on Arizona. Connor was all right. Marquise Brown was a little bit underwhelming. So you can go cheap with AJ Green. Dortch was the guy. I don't know if that's a thing or not, Greg Dortch, but he got 9 targets for 63 yards, and he's only $3,500. So there you go. So that's the first game stack. Now you can always go the other direction and obviously play Kyler. I mean, and then you got your same options going back the other way. You go Kyler, and then you go Hollywood Brown or Ertz or Dortch. And you don't want to play him with Connor can be your run back here. That way you got your running back traditional. And Connor is very, very involved in the offense. We'll take a quick look at him. He only had 10 carries because of the blowout factor, but he had 5 catches, 6 targets, and a touchdown. So that's getting it done. And you know he's going to get more than 10 attempts this week because Las Vegas is not quite the juggernaut that Kansas City appears to be. So that's my first game stack. And then we'll clear that on out of there. Second game stack, kind of oddball, but it is the same two team or one of the same. Detroit's at home again. So that's got shootout written all over it. The surprise quarterback of the week, Carson Wentz, threw 4 touchdown passes. He's still pretty cheap, 5,800. But you got Wentz, and then you can go McLaurin all day. What does Scary Terry end up doing? So he didn't get targeted a whole lot. He did score a touchdown, but remember, it wasn't quite the absolute gully washer that Chicago had, but they did get rain. There was weather involved in this game. I don't know if it lasted the whole way. It's hard to tell on HD, but they did get quite a bit of rain there as well. You got the new shooter in what's his name? Dotson, like the dog. I don't know where he's at down here, but he ought to be a couple bucks increase. Cam Sims still in the mix. Dotson, and there he is, 4,200, big price bump. And Curtis Samuel too. I'm glad to see him back. He was, remember him? He was that third guy, Monster Day, 8 catches, 55 yards, and a tug. You can remember he was that third wheel on the Carolina Panthers a couple years ago when they had DJ Moore and Robbie Anderson, and he was Curtis Samuel, and he was good. He got injured, and it took him almost 2 years to come back. He seemed like it was soft tissue, this, that, and the other. So that's a really good looking game stack. Of course, you got Detroit at home all day with DeAndre Swift and Amon-Ra St. Brown, and you can even do Hawkinson. You got all kinds of options. That game is about a 50-point total as well, pretty close to it. I think it might be the second highest scoring. So stack number 2, Washington at Detroit. I'm probably not telling you anything you don't already know. This one is intriguing. My number 3 ranked one was Atlanta and at Los Angeles Rams. And obviously, you're probably going Stafford if you do stack it. And I don't really know if I would recommend a full-on game stack with Stafford and everything, but I would maybe do a mini stack. And, you can go Cooper Kupp and Drake London. London should be, I don't know if he'll get a price bump or not. London was $200 more expensive, 5 for 74 yards. He had Bradley Roby on him, not Marshawn Lattimore. He was able to get free. That's a pretty good outing for a rookie coming off a soft tissue injury. So, he was a little bit behind in training camp and whatnot. So pretty solid outing for Drake London. I expect good things from him in the future. He's going to be a stud. So what I would do there is, I don't know if I would go Mariota, but this is going to be an absolute chase scenario for Atlanta on the road. He threw 33 times, and they were down in this game as well. That's terrible, 20 out of 33, and he only had 215 yards. He must have been dinking and dunking all day. His average was 6.5 yards per target. That sucks. Got to do better than that. Pitts was a non-factor. I don't know what you're going to get out of Pitts. I don't know if Jalen Ramsey. I didn't see how he was deployed. I may go back before the end of the week and look and see if they had him running out of the slot or they had him lined up somewhere other than tight end. Because if he's lined up on like a nickelback or a linebacker or something, he should just be able to just mop the floor with that kind of matchup. But if you got a big cornerback on him, then he's in trouble. So just like last year, they didn't deploy him properly. But that's that stack, and we'll go ahead and clear that out. I'm not super high on that stack. That might be a more, like I said, a mini stack, because the implied, I think the Rams are double-digit favorites, obviously, but they're implied for about a 45 total, I think. I made it 30-17 final score for me because I always think in my head what I think the score will be because I nobody's scoring 16 and a half. So I bump Atlanta up to 17 because I thought their offense looked a little better and they may even score 20. So we'll have to see about that. So it might turn out to be an all right game stack. Yeah, Cordell Patterson. I don't know. They may activate Allgaier uh, out of the backfield, but Damian Williams left that game. Let's see what he had. Rib soreness. So he might be fine. He didn't break any ribs. He just sore. So he might be right back in the mix. I don't know if they will go two back set again because they inactivated Allgaier, but they may have him this week. I don't know what they're going to do yet, but keep an eye on that game stack. It's all right. Another intriguing game stack is my fourth ranked one, and that's Indianapolis Colts at, yes, the Jacksonville Jaguars. And not so much for Matt Ryan, who looked like absolute dog shit. I just, man, I mean, everybody's looking forward. He threw the ball 50 times. He did get 352 yards and a touchdown, but he fumbled the ball. He only lost one, but he 4 fumbles. Wow. So he did throw for 350, but when you're down, they were down 20-3 early, so he was forced to throw from like probably late in the second quarter through the entire rest of the game, and they came back and got the tie. Give him credit on that. He got cobbled together a couple drives. Jonathan Taylor scored a touchdown, and they managed to pull out the tie. Yay! Kiss your sister. Anyway, Trevor Lawrence. I might have to go back and watch some more game film on this. They were down in the game. They almost came back. They had a chance. He threw it 42 times, only 275, but a touchdown and a pick. He didn't really run though. He's if you looked at last year's game log, he'll take off and get you 30, 40 yards sometimes. So that may be different. He just may have not had the opportunity to run in this game. So keep an eye on him because him and Kirk would be the obvious smash spot for the combo plate. Kirk was very good. 12 targets, 100 yards. He didn't even score, 6 catches. So if he's going to get 12 targets a game, you might as well just, call in the dogs and pee on a fire because every week, if he's going to be sub 6K, he's the new Brandon Cooks. And of course you do have the old Brandon Cooks, but they're playing. So I might be sour because what I was afraid of came to fruition in my fantasy league. I left DK Metcalf in there, and I was really, really afraid of Patrick Surtain because that dude is almost as big as DK Metcalf. The dude is like 6'2" and 220 pounds for a cornerback, and he's fast. So it was all Metcalf could do to get 30 yards receiving. So I'm a little sour on Brandon Cooks this week for the Texans. Just keep that in your in your lizard brain back there. But Indy Jacksonville, 27-24 is what I've got it predicted at. Indianapolis on top. I think Jacksonville will score. I don't know. Kirk is obvious. I don't know with the J-Rob too and Etienne. They both got plenty of run. So I don't know. Maybe play the cheaper of the two. I don't know. But Robinson looked good, and he's obviously going to be a factor. So I'm going to call that a 50-50 workload as of now. So anybody else in that game, you could probably find some low key receivers on the Jacksonville side. I don't know. Marvin Jones, real quick. Yeah, 4 for 38. That's a Marvin Jones type day, quiet. But then the next game, he'll come out and catch 7 for 125 and 2 touchdowns. So keep an eye on him this week. He might be low key. My fifth and final stack of the week. Yes, indeed. It is going to be the Cincinnati Bengals and the Dallas Cowboys. I got to revert back to the Bengals. Joe Burrow bungled away 5 turnovers, and they still had a chance to win that game. Probably didn't deserve to, but you know, McPherson missing that field goal, that was a tragedy. But Prescott's out for Dallas, and I guess Cooper Rush is going to start. No way in God's green earth do I play Cooper Rush. That dude is garbage, and I'm a Cowboys fan, so I admit that dude is somebody's son-in-law. He's got family. His Aunt Marilyn is in the front office somewhere or something, because that dude got cut and then they brought him right back. Cooper Rush, I'm not rushing to play his ass whatsoever. So your obvious game stack would be Burrow, and people might shy away from how bad he was, but he could have a monster week. And this might actually be the week what we call those sneaky mini stacks, and I call it the Dalvin Cook stack, like of last year. People went a lot of times and faded Kirk Cousins, but they played Dalvin Cook and Justin Jefferson, and those two guys together scored massively. And then they might have found a better, but I mean, you can still play Burrow, but you know, if Mixon's going to get, he got 27 attempts in that game, which they struggled. He got 7 catches for 63 yards. So who said he wasn't involved in the pass game is stupid. But anyway, he may not get nearly that many targets. He might just get effective rushing. But Mixon Chase, right off the bat, you can run it back with, actually what I thought about doing was running it back with Pollard, 5,800, because I don't know how he'll be with Cooper Rush, but he needs to be more involved. They need to call in all the support they can get. Obviously, Dalton Schultz can be a thing. I don't know. I mean, 7 for 9. I don't know how much of that was Dak. Cooper Rush didn't he came in really late. So I don't know if I'd go past catchers. Like I said, I may just single stack that one and move on with it, because I don't know if I can trust anybody on Dallas's squad. They're going to be in bad shape unless they get a quarterback this week. So keep an eye on that. There's tons of injuries. I'll probably come back either Thursday or Friday with another show, probably Friday. I'm not 100%, but until then, good looking out, everybody, this week at the Discord. We all did great. We had some winners. A couple guys won big. Dart Hero, I remember off the top of my head. Big Daddy Gator is and Big R Colts. All these guys, they're just plowing away at PGA. Don't forget the Billy Ho PGA contest, also in effect. That needs to fill. I really wanted to get the 40 on that, but it's really hard to do in a swing season, so I'm not going to hold it against you. So until the next video, we'll see you soon. All right. Thanks for watching.